bad habits started crawling back into my life recently. And at these times especially, I kind of like to reflect on what is actually going wrong with my life and what things I can do to fix this problem and get back on track and leave these bad habits one more time behind. And in this video, I wanted to share my reflections with you so that you can actually use these things to help you beat your own addictions as well, because I am sure that all of us are dealing with something like this to some extent. It may be more serious or less serious, it doesn't matter, but we are all dealing with this. So in this video, I will talk about a couple of things that, if you realize, I believe will be very helpful for you to actually leave these habits behind. So the first thing that I realize is that when we are trying to stop doing these things, we expect a lot from ourselves. So see, we have developed these bad habits in many years. Maybe you have been doing them for 10 years. It doesn't matter what it is. It may be drinking, it may be smoking, it may be watching stuff that you shouldn't be watching, and any other thing. We have spent a lot of years developing these habits. So expecting yourself to stop once and for all at a single time is a bit too much. Just like forming a habit where it takes a lot of time, for example, reading a book. I have been trying to build up a reading habit for almost 5 years right now, and I still haven't managed it properly. I'm just starting to kind of get used to it. And this is also the same with the bad habits as well, and when you're trying to stop them. If you expect yourself to stop at a single time completely, you will fail. That's just how simple it is. You will fail. And that's why I think that streaks are kind of setting you up for a failure as well, because what is a streak? It's basically the amount of time that you have spent not doing that habit, and you're counting this. And your streak will eventually end. All of us have ended our streaks, because if you think that you're not going to fall back into this bad habit for the rest of your life, even for a single time, that is just not going to happen. That is not going to happen. Of course, you will eventually, probably, will fall into that habit when you're stressed, when you're alone, or when you need something and you don't address your need, which I will talk about in a minute about those needs as well. You will fall back into that bad habit eventually. And especially during the start of your journey of beating that habit, tendency to fall off is at its highest, and it's completely normal. So what you should do, instead of trying to stop all at once, give yourself permission to fail. Start slowly. For example, if you're drinking, maybe you can say, I'm gonna drink 6 days a week for this week and not for the last Sunday, for example. You can even start from there. It doesn't matter how small that step you think is, but you should actually start from that small. You should actually start very small. Because, like I said, if you expect a lot from yourself from the beginning and you overestimate your willpower, you're setting yourself up for a failure. And every time you fail, I know this from myself because this happens to me as well, you tend to think that you're broken, you tend to think that you will not be able to do this, you tend to think that you're not strong enough. So before you fail, give yourself permission to fail. Because you will fail, and that's okay. And the second thing, and I believe this is the most important thing when it comes to bad habits, is that bad habits often manifest themselves when you need something else, but you don't get that need. When something else is broken in your life and you don't fix that, bad habits usually manifest themselves as some form of escape. Deep inside you, you probably don't want to do that bad habit, actually. But the reason that you do it is that because you have kind of formed some kind of an escape route with this bad habit, whether that is masturbation, whether that is drinking, whether that is smoking. You kind of programmed your brain to use these things as an escape route when things are not going right. And you can simply understand this by looking at the times where you actually indulge in this habit a lot. When you look at these timelines, you'll be able to identify some patterns where you may feel alone, for example. And when you feel alone, you tend to jump on and do these escape routes that your brain has conditioned to do. Or when you spend too much time at home, maybe you start indulging in those bad habits because you start to feel depressed, you start to feel more isolated, and you'll be able to pick up some stuff like this. For me personally, my main cue and the thing that kind of gets me into these bad habits is that when I'm isolated at my home, when I'm overworking, or when I don't go out, these things automatically cause me to want to do the bad stuff that I shouldn't be doing. Those are the triggers for me. And I was able to identify what actually was the main pattern that led me to do these bad habits by thinking about those timelines where I indulge in those and actually doing some reflection. So the thing that you must understand, that those bad habits are kind of a consequence of something going wrong in your life. Like I said, you should try to look at your life at a deeper level and understand what you actually need. Maybe you need a beach day. Maybe you need to go to the beach. Your body wants you to go to the beach, and if you don't do that, maybe you will become depressed. It can be as simple as that. Maybe you want to go out. Maybe you want some more human connection. Or maybe you just need some rest. That could be as well. Maybe you're just too tired and your body is searching for some kind of an escape route. Because like I said, most of these addictions are tied up to some kind of a problem or some kind of thing that is missing from your life. And if you understand this, you'll be able to solve it. I mean, not fully. You will probably eventually go back to doing some of these habits when life hits you in the face, because none of us will live a life where everything will go perfectly. Of course, we'll have some difficulties. Of course, we'll have some problems. And we might actually fall back on these bad habits once that time comes. However, if you just find out about these needs and these patterns that cause you to fall into these bad habits, you'll be able to come back much quicker. So if there is one thing that you understand from this video, let it be this: you will probably fail. Don't expect yourself to be perfect at this route. Don't expect yourself to stop all these bad habits at once. Try to take small steps. And secondly, understand that these bad habits are actually rooted from something deeper. And they are most of the time some kind of a need that you have that you haven't fulfilled for yourself. So when you start taking a better care of yourself, and when you start approaching yourself with a bit more sympathy, you might be able to identify why in the first place your body craves these bad habits, and you might be able to solve the problem from its roots. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.